Hello, my lords and ladies. How are you all? What? Where have I been? Just having breakfast. I have tried saying that joke a dozen times, and I can't do it with a straight face. So, I am just going to jump right into this episode, and I expect it's going to be short and sweet. Before I roll the transition, I will give you some pre-warning. If the fact that I have colour in my cheeks wasn't already a massive giveaway. But I am a very satisfied omnivore, and I will be showing why this, as opposed to veganism, is the way to go. Alright then, roll intro. Okay, so this is a position I've had on diet for a very long time and had many an argument with vegans on social media. Curiously, it's always vegans, as far as I can tell. It doesn't ever seem to be vegetarians. To be clear, I don't have a problem with vegans who do it as a lifestyle choice. I've met a few of you, and you all just go about yourselves completely harmless. It's the ethical vegans who seem to be the issue, who are on some kind of crusade to convert people to their lifestyle choice. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why I keep saying lifestyle choice. Now, the most obvious question is, why do we eat meat? Why do we eat meat? Why do you think that is? Feel free to take a moment to give an answer off the top of your head. And I'm just going to give you a moment now to pause the video and make an answer for yourself. Okay, so if I had to guess, some of you based mother effers will just outright say, it tastes good, or I love burgers, or some variation. My next guess would be, the more technical types will say, because we need iron and protein. Both are true, but are not the specific true reason why we eat meat. There's two specific reasons, actually. And the fact that these two reasons are not common knowledge is incredibly disturbing to me. I would expect it's something that would be taught in school. But I know few people who understand these 2 points, and very often in social media debates, I'm the only one pointing them out. So, the two reasons are vitamin B12 and sufficient nutrient intake. We need vitamin B12 specifically for the proper development of red blood cells. Without it, you suffer what's called pernicious anemia and die. In this way, what makes us omnivores is actually not what we need to consume so much as what we can't produce. Herbivores also need B12 and a sufficient nutrient intake, but how do they get it? Well, they are what we call ruminants. They have more than one stomach, and they have a tendency to regurgitate their food. Their stomachs ferment the food that they eat. This is important because vitamin B12 is specifically made by bacteria. The bacteria in their stomachs ferment the B12, then they reabsorb it into their bodies. But it doesn't stop there. Where are they getting the calorie intake from? Now, if you look here, the calories in 100 grams of beef is around 250. The amount in 100 grams of carrot is 41 calories. And yes, you can Google, it will also tell you 100 grams of grass has 33 calories. Give or take. It does depend a little bit on the source that you're getting it from. Now, how much grass does a cow need to eat in a day? Over 10 kilos. and it takes them 6+ hours in the day to eat all of it. Do you think we could function eating 6 hours a day? The point is, our stomachs are not designed to ferment the nutrients needed for our bodies or the energy needed for our daily routine. We need a high energy meal with all the necessary nutrients that can be consumed in minutes. Such a meal is one that has meat as the main course of the meal itself. As a side note, we have forward-facing eyes. This is a trait of animals who are meat-eating hunters. Also, for the reasons stipulated in this video, you can go ahead and ignore the nutcases trying to claim that we're frugivores because of our worn down and devolved teeth. Now, if you look at this table graph, you'll notice meat has more calories, more protein, more iron than vegetables, and most importantly, no vegetable has vitamin B12. Specifically, no vegetable has it in their structure. They might have it on their surface, but we need to clean or peel the surface to make them safe to eat. And here is the protein, iron, B12, and calories the average person needs in a day. With all this considered, it takes 2, 3, or even a dozen times the amount of vegetables than what we need of meat to get our necessary nutrition. I mean, are you going to eat a kilo of carrots to get your necessary calorie intake? To get no more than 410 calories anyway? And you need at least 1,600 calories, give or take, just to function? Yes, just to function. If you laid in bed for a whole day, your body still needs anywhere from 1,200 to 1,800 calories just to function, depending on your body type. And yes, as a side note, this is the crux to obesity. Eating more calories than what one needs. On average, we're eating over 2,800 calories a day. Some stats will say we're eating over 3,000 calories a day. This is at least 1,000 more than what we typically need. You might be interested to know, I've struggled to gain weight for years. For most of my adulthood, I've remained in the range between 60 to 70 kilos. I don't exceed consuming more than 2,200 calories a day. Sometimes I get as little as 1,700. This only works for me. You can do your own research as to what you need for yourself. It's called resting metabolic rate. Google and your phone calculator has the tools you need. So how do vegans survive without B12 and low calories? Modern advancements made in the last century. We put artificially produced B12 in their food, and they occasionally get B12 injections. And they eat larger meals than we do, or they eat more often in the day. Or they eat supplement foods like vegan protein shakes, which also have a decent serving of calories. But it's all still lower calories than meat-based meals, which is why most vegans are not obese. And that's not for the lack of meat, but the lack of calories. Like I said, my weight is stable, and I eat meat and fast food and cream-based dishes and desserts. However, I do not eat more calories than what I need. Fact of the matter is, veganism is to starve oneself. It is a lifestyle choice, but it's a lifestyle choice of self-harm. Instead of just telling these people to eat a bloody steak, we supplement their purposeful starvation to keep them alive. So why? Why do they do this? There's two common reasons. One is a personal choice based on a discomfort with eating meat. It can be because they don't like that an animal had to die, but they don't care that others eat meat anyway, whereas others just don't like the taste or texture, which is all fine. The second type, however, not so much. The second type takes the dislike for an animal dying and turns it into an extreme virtue signal. I'm a good person. I'm better than you because I don't kill animals to survive.
The face of scornful judgment.
These people irk me. They ruffle my feathers. Specifically for the unjustified and pointless superiority complex and the consequential moral crusade that follows. Now, my long-time viewers will likely already know my position on morality. In short, it is a social contract of cooperation to avoid or mitigate harm being caused in accordance with each other's self-interests. Morality, from my point of view, does not exist in nature. We create it to serve a mutually socially beneficial purpose based around our survival and the survival of the species overall. By this definition, morality is only our concern. For us, we are not obligated to offer it to animals. We can, and in limited specific circumstances, we like to. But there is no secular reason for this to be an obligation outside of the law, and the law relies on there being reasoning for its enforcement. Your house pets are a great example. You're in a domestic relationship that is emotionally gratifying, so it serves well to behave morally towards your pets as you would a person. And because of this, you can't murder your neighbour's pet. It's a punishable crime. There's also no religious reason to not eat animals. As I understand it, religious texts outright say that animals were created for us, for our benefit. So the vegan argument for it being the moral choice relies on people either not having a very refined idea of morality or to be driven more by emotion than logic. And emotion was intended for bonding with our fellow humans and discerning friend from foe. Again, its purpose is our concern for our own benefit, not the benefit of a completely different species. We like to extend empathy to animals because it feels bad to hurt them, because we can imagine we wouldn't like to be hurt. But you wouldn't like to be starving to death either. And like I said, there's no moral obligation that exists in nature or in the firmament which demands that you must not eat animals. Your only natural moral obligation is to cooperate with other humans in the interests of mutual survival and getting along. So it would actually be immoral to make everyone vegan, especially if they don't want to be vegan, and your survival as a vegan does not depend on others being so. And of course, sure, we ought to care about their interests, but they also ought to care about ours. So the moral path is for vegans and omnivores to simply just accept each other's existence and let each other go about our business. And no, I don't care about the climate. I'm not getting into that subject on this episode, but I can say I see all of that nonsense to be nothing more than nonsense. And if I'm wrong, surely there's something we can do to survive without reducing and restricting us from our natural basic needs, our common comforts, and without devolving our technology back into the damn dark ages. Alright. That's all, folks. That's a wrap. Like I said, short and sweet today. Well, I actually say that because it's written here in the script. It's only about 1,800 words, but for all I know, this has taken me half an hour to say, with all the edits and jump cuts I have to put in here and there. I actually had a pretty good run this time. Wait, what's this little note here?
Do not tell the audience how long it actually took you to make the video. Just read this out loud and then abruptly end the episode.
Oh, right.